Alright guys, I'm just gonna, well, the power's been out for all morning, so I was just gonna go over what I plan on doing this weekend and some problems I gotta overcome. I got my my power inverter and my spare car battery running some lights. So the problems I ran into, well, first off is these rails. I don't know if you can see, but it dips down in the middle and it comes level on the ends, and both of them do that, and both of them do that by about 15 thousandths. So if I move that out of the way, so I mean, these are just the steel, quarter-inch steel that these sit on, and obviously they're welded in the middle and on the ends, but all that welding and stuff I did made it warp a little bit. So since it's only 15 thousandths, and I can see it starts like right here on both sides, I just plan on taking a sanding disc and trying to sand these ends down by 15 thousandths to get it to level out, and hopefully that works out, because I don't want to have to cut these welds and re-weld them, because the welder's 10 miles away from here, so I'd have to take this whole thing over there. So yeah, that's one problem I gotta work out. Everything warped when I welded it, because those were, I had a straight edge on those and I got those perfect before. And the other issue is, I was looking at this other, in how I'm going to install this other screw here, and man, there's just no good way to put the stepper motor where it just bolts. So what I'm going to have to do is I want to put the stepper motor on the back, and which means I will have to take this one block here, this screw block, and make a 4.5 inch shim to move this whole screw back to where it will meet up with the stepper motor that's mounted on the back of this bar here. So this whole thing is going to have a 4.5 inch block to shim it back to the back side of all of this. So that's one thing I'm going to have to figure out, is how I'm going to make that block, what I can find a use for that. And besides that, oh yeah, I got all the welding finished. All the welding's finished. It was stripped down and painted, and that's why I'm going over these issues now. And another thing I forgot to mention in the last video, I installed this this breaker box. It's got two 30 amp breakers, and I've got some outlets and stuff that I need to, you know, I just got the breaker box installed, and man, I had to cut a hole in the floor, put a hole in the floor, and run the wires out to the main breaker box. And I haven't installed the outlet part yet. And since it's raining and storming, I can't really go get the wood. I was planning on doing that this weekend. If the rain lets up tomorrow, I'll go over to Home Depot and get the wood and stuff for the enclosure. And what my plan is this closet here, basically the actual CNC machine is going to sit all the way back into this closet, and it's going to stick out like 1 foot. And that way it doesn't take up this whole frickin' room, or half this room. It's going to be mostly in this closet. I'm going to tear out this this top shelf, and the whole thing is going to be mostly in the closet, and just it'll stick out by like 1 foot, and that way I'll have room in here. And so the enclosure is going to be, the outer layer is going to be plywood, or particle board, or whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to have 2 layers of 1/2-inch drywall. And so it's going to be 2 layers of drywall, 1 layer of plywood, and then it's going to have this plasticky stuff to keep everything from getting wet. And maybe if I can find some old cardboard or some old carpeting, I might put a layer of that in there too, but maybe not. But either way, it's all about building a soundproof enclosure. And basically the drywall is going to do the most of the soundproofing. And then I've got these clear sheets. They got a protective layer on them. They're actually perfectly clear. And they're going to be for the door part. So the door part is going to have, well, I got them somewhere. I got these special latches for the door part. So it's just going to be a, I thought about making a bunch of angles in it and stuff, but I decided to just do a straight up big box. And hopefully it'll be soundproof, and there'll be enough room on the underneath, even though I still got to cut this about 6 inches shorter. There still should be just enough room to fit this this air compressor underneath. And even though it's a super quiet air compressor, it'll, everything will be sound dampened, so I can run this thing during the middle of the night or whenever I feel like it without bugging the neighbors and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm working on today. Power's been out all frickin' morning, so I can't really do a whole lot. I'm just sitting here staring at this thing, going over what I need to do. If it wasn't raining, I'd go get the damn wood and stuff and drywall, but I don't have a camper shell on my truck, so it would get all wet. So I gotta do it on a dry day. So yeah, this is what I'm working on today. Figuring out what I need to do. Alright, later.